Let's face it, shonen manga is losing its flair. With the current big names coming to an end, everyone is trying to find something to fill that hole. Something new and fresh. And for the people who have never read this manga because they never got over the insane meme run it had, I'm here to persuade you. Feed you something new and fresh. And that's Kagurabachi. Kagurabachi started out as a meme. When the first illustration was released, the picture was so memeable, and people began claiming it as the best story ever to be told. It changed people's lives and philosophies. Mind you, not a single chapter had been released yet. The manga got edits, videos, even fake reports of it dethroning One Piece in the cells. It became the anime equivalent to Morbius. The memes were endless. It was so vast, it even got the creator himself involved. In an interview with the creator, Takeru Hokuzono was asked how he felt about Kagurabachi having insane popularity overseas, and if he had any words for us. He said he was taken aback by how much fuss it was having overseas rather than in Japan. He even admitted to being sent fan mail on how his unreleased manga had changed someone's life. Kagurabachi initially seemed to be another copy-paste manga copying successful manga, which no one really wants. The meme went on for months even after a few chapters were released, and for the honest people, they said it was okay. That's it. Okay. So that alone made me stay away from it, not to waste my time. But more and more did I see its art pop up on Twitter, or on Instagram, or YouTube, and people claiming it's actually good. And I finally gave it a read. And I am so glad that I did. Kagurabachi is about Chihiro, the son of a blacksmith that was famous for making katanas. These katanas were special and imbued with magic, which brought out at the end of a war. It saved the lives of millions and changed how society worked. When Chihiro was a boy, his father was murdered by a gang of sorcerers, and Chihiro vowed revenge. Every day filled with vengeance and bloodlust. For the last few years, he's hunted this gang, trying to find them and not only kill them, but take back the war-ending katanas they stole. Wielding the last katana that his father built, we watch his journey against the Yakuza and sorcerers alike. The story is very simple, which I think works in his favor. The story is very fast-paced, and we get a good fight every other chapter, but it doesn't overload us with useless combat. If I could take out something from a story, whether it be dialogue, fight, or just panels, and it's like I didn't miss anything, it shouldn't be in a story at all. Kagurabachi does that full force, and it does it well. I get very heavy John Wick vibes when reading this. Not because of John Wick's personal drive, wanting to avenge his dog, but the society that's in John Wick. In John Wick, assassins are heavily supported in plain sight. They have rules, organizations, and systems in place. In Kagurabachi, it's the same, but instead of assassins, we get sorcerers. They are a part of mafias tied to the black market, certain families that are untouchable, and many employers who hire them for assassinating and protecting. In the first arc of the manga, Chihiro gets too involved with the wrong people, and they set a hit on him for a low sum of money. And out of nowhere, these sorcerers are attacking him, but still being very discreet in public. They move like assassins, like in John Wick. They don't care why or what he is doing, they just want the money that's on his head. Just like John Wick, Chihiro isn't some random guy you can kill easily. That's because he was one of the special katanas. These katanas actually produce 10 times more magic than any sorcerer could ever dream of. These katanas entered a war full of sorcerers in the past. Someone is out there with one of the katanas causing a ruckus in the mafia social world and gaining a lot of attention from every single person in that world. The first few chapters of Kagurabachi wasn't anything special. It was cool, but nothing I hadn't seen before. It was enjoyable, but nothing more. That wasn't until I got to chapter 8 and saw the potential. I will now be going over the first few chapters of Kagurabachi, and if you don't want spoilers, go ahead to the next segment. Now, let's get started. To give a bit of background before I go right into chapter 8. In chapter 3, Chihiro goes to Tokyo and searches for any clues about the gang that murdered his dad. This is where we learn how sorcerers work in the society and how big corporations and the Yakuza created a system for protection for sorcerers and hits for sorcerers. An informant tells Chihiro how her girl needed protection and the bad guy that's chasing her had the strongest sword. Chihiro decides to become her bodyguard because she is his only lead on the katanas. But whoever this girl is, she is dangerous. Not a day goes by before Chihiro is attacked by a sorcerer, and then another, and then another, and another. After a lot of fights, Chihiro and his people learn that the man after the girl are big fish in the underworld. Weapons dealers, and this weapons dealer has one of the katanas, the Cloud Gouger. Eventually, Chihiro gets cornered but is saved by sorcerers who work for the government, called the Kamunabi. Their sole purpose is to maintain and control sorcerers and the Yakuza who threaten the nation. And someone wielding one of the war-ending katanas like Cloud Gouger is a threat to the nation. So Chihiro and them partially join forces. Now in chapter 8, we focus on the man Chihiro's group tortured to get the information about the weapons dealer who has the Cloud Gauger. We learn a little about his family and his decision to work for the Yakuza. His family hated his actions and him becoming a murderer. He ruined his family's name, and his family started being called the Bomb Monster family. His sister and mother were distraught and disowned him. He never got over that and actually felt very guilty about it. He wanted to appease and fix his relationship with his family. Chihiro's mentor told the man it wasn't too late for him to change, and we watched this man have a meaningful talk with his sister and how they plan to meet with their mother and talk to her. But when his sister picks him up, they are killed by the weapons dealer. Shortly after, we watch the weapons dealer use the Cloud Gouger to kill the other sorcerers that failed to kill Chihiro. And then suddenly, he walks into Chihiro's home base and attacks. And then the battle between Chihiro and the arms dealer Sojo Genichi, wielding two war-stopping katanas, commence. I really like this chapter for two reasons. The first reason is how fast-paced it is. With how Shonen Jump is now, stories can't build up to fights for too long, or focus on character development too often, especially for new manga. If you do, you're going to get dropped. We've seen it happen before with the Red Hood manga. It had great art and a developing story, but with so little chapters, you can't have talking and development for so many chapters at a time. The people want action. It's a shonen for a reason. Kagurabachi understands this current state of the shonen manga and handles it greatly. For my second reason, the fact that this is how new shonen manga have to work is so bad. We need character development. We need moments of calm. It can't always be action. But Kagurabachi is able to still give us those moments and give us action. It's very good pacing. They make us feel just a bit sad about his death after deciding to change his life around. I like when stories can make the citizens important. I feel like it gives a story the second level of impact. It becomes more tangible and the readers become more attached to the story, like in Spider-Man 2 or The Amazing Spider-Man. When I see the involvement and impact that the main character has on the background characters, it really does something to me. Chapter 8 got me synced in, but not yet hooked. That doesn't happen until chapter 16. Once the fight between Chihiro and Soju ends, the little girl is captured and we found out she is essentially immortal and being used as a test subject to create another katana on the same level as the ones that Chihiro's dad made. We learn about how she became a test subject and her mother dying to free her. Chihiro wants to rescue her, but he is too inexperienced with his katana and Soju is still at large. So the Kamunabi create a team designed to fight the Cloud Gouger wielder. With Chihiro's help, they create a strategy to defeat him. They quickly go to fight the gang, the Kamunabi go after Sojo, and Chihiro go to rescue the girl because he is still injured to fight. In both scenarios, Sojo and Chihiro both evolve in their respective fights and become more intertwined with their katanas. And in chapter 16, Chihiro rescues the girl and she even uses her immortality powers to heal him just a bit. And for Sojo, his battle is coming to an end. We see his awakening and it is amplified by the narrator and we witness his evolution and he decimates the Kamunabi squad. And in the next page, we see Sojo and Chihiro face to face. A standoff between two immature swordsmen who just evolved. The narrator tells us of Chihiro's thoughts about the Kamunabi squad and them dying, but he quickly focuses and calms his mind. And with them both having a limited amount of energy remaining, their battle will last a mere moment. I cannot describe just how impactful those last pages was. It reminded me of Hunter x Hunter during the Ant War. I am not putting into justice how cool and clean the narration was, and I implore you to read it. The fight itself is so well thought out and focused, it's almost on the same level as the Colon game fights in JJK. I won't spoil that amazing fight, you just have to go and read it. All this happens in 16 chapters. The pacing is so fast but controlled. I cannot respect enough how Takeru is able to pull this off. Kagurabachi is making a wave in the shonen manga industry and is getting real popularity. This isn't just for the memes. In fact, the memes are dead. People are now embracing it. People even wanted to fail to prove a point. And once you start getting haters, you know you made it. It's not Naruto. It's not One Piece. It's not Bleach. It's not JJK. It's its own thing. Its own power system. Its own story. Its own premise. It's beating all the fraud cases so far, and I'm definitely going to continue reading. Kagurabachi was given pressure unknowingly on the same level as Cyberpunk, but instead of people actually believing it would change the industry, anime fans jokingly believed it would change the industry. And so far, the manga has not been cancelled, meaning the joke could possibly become a reality. So stay on the lookout for Kagurabachi.